Hi, listeners! Welcome to Contemplating Parenthood. The aim of this channel is to educate people of the different feelings and experiences parents go through so they could look thoughtfully at what parenthood really looks like. And here is our story for today. I have never wanted to get married nor have children. I never had a wedding dream and the idea of having kids. While I have always loved them, didn't appeal to my sense of freedom and adventure. In my late 20s, I met someone. I had a deep sense that we had known each other before and that we were destined to share our lives together. He, like me, was a traveler, but he wanted children. He convinced me that one or two children could easily be put in a backpack and we could still travel the world and live our lives as we saw fit. My first pregnancy was a time of great anxiety. I worried that I would not love the baby, that I wouldn't be able to care for it, that I would repeat the cycle of abuse I had come from. And then he was born, a perfect little boy with soulful eyes. I adored him, and 25 years later, I still do. So much so that I decided I wanted another one right away. And 2 years later, my second was born. I worried that perhaps I did not have the capacity in my heart to love another. But my heart expanded and I adored this new bundle just as much. Okay, it all worked out well, you think. Why am I writing on this page? Here's what they don't tell you, ladies. Here comes the rant. My husband and I used to go out together to restaurants, to bars, to bands. We shared the housework equally on the weekends before going out. An hour each and it was done. We shared the cooking. We did things together. We enjoyed each other. Then the babies came. It made sense that I would tidy up while he was at work, that I cooked since I was home, that I shopped for groceries, watered and weeded the garden, stayed up at night with fuzzy children and took them to all their appointments. It made sense for the 5 years I was home. Then I went back to work, and no matter how much I tried to amend this new system, I couldn't do it. I still did everything. No matter how I protested, asked for help, insisted he step up around the house, nothing had happened. He still went out when we couldn't get a sitter. Did all the things he did before, but I could not. Did we travel the world? Yes, we did. We went all over the world, visiting far-flung places, and work followed me. I washed their clothes, made sure they had all they needed, stayed up at night with them if they were jet-lagged. No one told me that I would have this great life and resent the hell out of my husband. Resent him for not sharing the load, not willing to give up his sleep, walking out to the pub when he was tired of dealing with the noise of the stress of family life. We were partners and in it together until the kids came. That it seemed we became a business. You bring in the money, I do the chores. I take the day off work to take kids to the dentist, or because one is sick and you just keep doing you. Sex, you ask? What is less sexy than having kids stuck to your body all day, following you to the bathroom and not having any time to yourself whatsoever? That's before the school years. Only to finally put them down for the evening after dinner. A bath, a story, a tantrum, to a husband feeling randy. I didn't want to be touched at that point. Maybe had he helped me with the evening chores, I wouldn't be so resentful, exhausted, and disinterested. That we will never know, for nothing ever changed. Was he a good dad? Yes, he adored them. He played catch and did fun activities with them. They called him a hands-on dad. If all I did was take the kids to the park a couple of times a week, I would have been considered negligent. The double standard is an unmovable force that even women living the same life adhere to. I had surgery and was in a hospital for a few days. I came home to find all sorts of casseroles that the neighborhood mothers brought him so he and the children would not starve. When he was traveling for work for 2 weeks at a time, not a single casserole came my way. We expect that men cannot or will not take care of the kids, and so we do it all. And if we can't, other women step in. No one cuts us any slack. If the kids act up in school or if their sports uniform isn't clean, that's my fault. If they need shoes or haircut, I am the one who has neglected them. Having children really screws up a marriage. No one told me that. I was so worried that I wouldn't be a good mom that I never considered how having kids would wreck my life in other ways. My husband and I have pushed through those years and are still together. We love each other and our family. But having a family came at a tremendous cost to me, not to him. Over the years, he became more successful at his work, acquired more skills, and made more money. I had my own little business which I didn't grow because someone had to be the rock for the family. I continued to make my little money while he is the man with the big salary. No one told me that everything I did on a daily basis for years and years would be undone by the end of the day. Take care of the kids, tidy up the house, make dinner, clean up, and do it all again tomorrow. I am 50 years old now, and I have nothing to show for all the work I did. The only trace is in my children. They are good people who love us and the world around them. Was it worth it? Honestly, I don't know. And here are the top most reacted comments of this letter or this story. Commenter number 1 says, OP sounds like a fence sitter who had kids and not someone who was truly child-free. I never wanted kids and never will I have kids. However, to fully support the OP's story, one time my mom pulled me aside when I told her I didn't want children, and she said, "Why is it a big deal for you? You won't be doing the work anyway." It is clear to me that men want kids more than women, generally because they do 5% of the work and leave a legacy. The biggest myth society tells people, besides the old adage that hard work will make you rich, is that women are dying to have family while the men are not so sure and would rather play video games. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Men are dying to start families while women are the ones who are not so sure, minus the video games. Number 2 commenter says, to answer your final question, I'd say, it was worth it for your children. It was worth it for your husband, but it was not worth it for you. I will add this to the most eloquent, well composed, insightful, beautiful way of communicating what happened to your marriage and to your life. You have expressed beyond measure why it can be dangerous for a woman to choose motherhood. Nothing changes for the man. Everything changes for the mother. Your words have profoundly affected me. They have resonated in some of my individual experience concerning loss of myself. You have nailed it. And commenter number 3 says, I've heard this same thing so many times. Men just don't step up and become a true partner to their wives, even if they promise to be one beforehand. Women still do the majority of the child rearing and housework in this day and age, even if they have full-time jobs. And commenter number 4 says, this is our final commenter. I'm almost 30 and my mom knows I'm never having kids. My mom admitted to me yesterday that she didn't want kids. I knew this already. She's an amazing mom, but I knew she didn't want this for her life. She wanted her career. My dad convinced her. And lo and behold, my poor mother was stuck with absolutely everything, while my father became a successful business owner. My mother has a master's in civil engineering. 8 years of study, just down the drain for her. I told her that I'm sorry she didn't get the choice. She deserved that. And she 10,000% supports my decision to not have kids.